All right, I'm going to start off first, and then Caitlin will be next, and then Ruba, then Samantha, and whoever's basically next from there. All right, I'm going to start first with the daily time frame. Starting at the 20th here. Something is one. Yes, so there was one on April, just let me check, that is on the 20th. Yes, from the 20th to the 24th. So we have one right here as a sell. And that was on the 82%. Since the 30.2 has already been taken, so I chose 77. Okay, 77 is from the point of entry. It's can you hear that? It's a day. $77,252 and T1 77 77006. Okay, just give me 1 sec. So 24.6 pips. We wanted to get on this end, but unfortunately it was on the standard deviation of 60%, so there's no. So T1 taken, so basically it's a win. 4-hourly time frame. There's 1, 2, 3, 2 actually. So there were 2 on the 20th or 100 hours. Entry point was at 77,809. Wait a minute. How did I get that right? Mm-hmm. I think the same one. Sorry, there's one right there. I didn't see that. Damn it. 21. Oh yeah. Sorry. 100 hours. 7723. Take that out. $7746. Sorry, miscalculation there. 7746. 7746. They're wrong. 723. 7746. Sorry, that's 23 pips. So there's 23 pips. Basically, that's a win. Next one, April 23rd. April 23rd. 900 hours. Yep. So, entry point at 77,809, 7780. I took the 100% level, 7807. 26.5 pips. 1 hour. First. $1,600 on the 21st. 7715. T1 was 7724. 7724 was the target point, and it surpassed it. So that was 9 pips. And then on the 23rd, $700. 7732. T1 was 7748. 7748. Okay. 77. I'm sorry, no, 48, 44. So 12 pips. We used the 62%. So there's the win. One more was that bad boy. Oh, 400 hours. And entry point 77896. And I used 7777. 12.5 pips. Okay, so overall there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades, 6 wins, 0 losses. Total number of pips accumulated. $24.6 plus 23 plus 26.5 plus 9 plus 12 plus 12.5. 100.76 pips basically for the week using M2 4-hour daily, 4 hours and 1 hour. Right, next was Kate.
Okay, so on the USD specifically on the 8-hour, there was evening start and let's see, it has do you want me to just do it to the fifth?
Yes, that's basically what is stated in part of the instructions. Always just the first fib.
There's the first fifth.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if the first fifth was like already basically taken.
I'm sorry, if it got taken, then the next level. Okay, the next possible target.
Okay, so then this will make 24 pips. This one. Okay, so this one needs 28 pips. This one, so the first target, it only made 3 pips. But okay.
Now so the next possible one now is basically the 50% level.
Yeah. So you want me to do that one?
Uh-huh.
Okay, 16 pips. So yeah, because he wouldn't get out just after that. Okay, and then the next one, It actually did go up to the first target. So that made 12 hits. And
Okay, go back on the other one, Cayman. How would you draw your fib? Because that is not the actual fib.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Oops. And totally forgot to draw the fib for that one. So, 12 is not high as a turn.
So that's the overall one.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you drew it from here to here,
okay, great.
Would have already been taken.
Right.
So in this case, this one hasn't worked out yet. So I guess you could say that one failed.
No, not yet. Because
yeah, not yet.
if you go through your fib on the smaller fib, how would you draw it?
I would draw a smaller fib on this guy. I would draw it from here to here.
Okay, now add the 72. 61 is too tight. So the next one is a 72, so add 72. I'm sorry, 76 might throw you upside.
Oh, in that case, yeah, I did hit that.
So if you calculate it mathematically, how much it would be?
Oh.
Yeah. You always use the calculator. So use your calculator to be exact. So how many pieces is it? From the closing price to 95.60.
You just want me to be exact. The closing price of this.
Mm-hmm.
5, and then that fib is 9, 5, 6, 2. So, yeah, maybe just doing that. So it's like 12.
Okay.
Yeah, 12 tips. And then on these ones, first, do you want me to do the calculator piece?
Yes, please. So calculate all those, do your overall calculation, your win to lose ratio, and then I'll get back to you now, okay? So, Ruba, your turn.
I found 2 of them on the 1 hourly time frame, and 2 of them went 100%. So this is in this morning chart is the divergence area, and up to from the entry point here to I'll consider 61% is the first T1. We can do from here to here as well, and then the 22 is this one. And this morning star, the blue line is the trigger price, and up to the 38% around 4.4 pips. So in total, 26 pips at C1 on both the amplitudes, but they both went 100% up.
So only two trades for the whole euro dollar, 2 wins, 0 losses.
Yep.
So nothing on the daily, nothing on the 4 hourly, Ruba?
No.
For the whole week? No. Okay. All right. Samantha, your turn.
So there's nothing on the daily.
I'm sorry. Let me mute myself.
Okay, so there was nothing on the daily. There was one that was manifesting on the 4-hour, but I'll do that one last. The ones that did work out, there were only 2 on the hourly. This one ended up hitting T1. This was 8 pips, and then ended up actually going all the way to the like all the way up here. So you got, if you went a little bit below this fib line to the high of the candle, it was 82.9 pips in total. But you have had to like come down and like deal with this. I don't know. It's up to you as a trader, but you ultimately got up to 82 pips if you just held it. And then the only other one that qualified. Oh, this one was good though because it. This one was good because it was a higher low. So even though the stochastic was rather high, it was 35.9. You had a higher low after. This is a higher high, and so it was relatively good. Well, it was a good trade. And then you have this one, which is still going on right now. If we just look from here to here, all the fibs were exhausted up until the 68. So I put on the 76, the 100, and the 1.2 and 1.6. From if you enter the end of this candle, you would have already hit T1 if you put it here at the 38 on the overall time frame. So if you go from the main swing all the way down, I could also add more confluence levels. I was just doing more general. But yeah, it definitely hit T1 so far by a couple pips, but I didn't calculate the amount of pips per se. I just knew that if you went here and you put your target to this, the 38, you would have hit it, and then to this guy, you would have hit it. But it's forming a lower high right now compared to that one, so you'd probably be out after the closing of this candle, to be honest. So. Yeah, Ruba?
There is a divergence as well in this morning star.
The G was 26.7, and this is 19. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's divergence in that one too. That was good. So, yeah. Since this had divergence, then that does definitely change my T1. I probably would have removed this one just because it got exhausted. And my T1 would have been this one. So, let me just draw this last fib. Yeah, my T1 would have been this one right here. So 1.2177. Yeah. Let me. $1.2177 minus the closing price, which is 1.2. That was 14.9 pips. Yeah. Including the what? Oh, yeah. So, you mean the total amount of pips? Okay. It was 22.9 pips total if you just went to T1. There was one that was manifesting on the 4-hour, but this to me wasn't as much force as I would have liked, like compared to all these other ones. So, but there, I don't think there wasn't divergence with this one that I know of. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I have a bunch. If it is on the baby.
And no, nothing on the
Inside.
So in the 4 hours that you were sleeping, let me see. That's a fantastic. Now I thought that when we put the Fibonacci, that we put it on the nearest high. Okay.
So basically, that's where
Even further. So that's 12.56.
How are you putting your Fibonacci based on even
This one? Yeah, that's so. This is where I put it on this side.
That's why there's like things, when you think of the closing point of the verse, 6 times, and it's really sitting,
Oh, you count this one too.
Yeah.
When you look at the 3 things, which one to?
So next one should be
this one. Okay. get this one. I'm going to delete these things. So for this you can try this example. So fantastic.
So, how's it going?
Let's see. So 4 hours is 34.2.
Including over 1 hour?
1 hour. 15, 25, 24.9. That would be fantastic.
It is 59.1.
Are you taking that?
On this right here, right? This goes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
59.1 total.
Now there was one where let me tell you.
It's 5 days.
Yeah. There was one where it didn't hit any of the different. So this is the
maybe go with 6 letters.
And we could go back up all the way to the top here.
So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. This is still on the chart. Give me the one.
Okay.
Give me the one. Give me the one.
No, I was going to, instead of doing that, I was just going to start a new, start a new place.
So, beginning to it is, so we're having a 2, 4, 6, 7 times.
Okay, so this I guess this one would be the think it's this will be fine, two cells, and I would put this one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next one.
I'll mute my
Well, I've only found one in the 1 hourly time frame that met the stochastics and met all the criteria. So I've got it presented here. It's in fact, we've got the entry point here was at 151213, which would be coincide at the end of this candle here. And as you can see, it never really hit the first target point of the 38th percentile. And so it basically never even came close and drifted back down to the point where it exceeded the stop that was put in at the top of this candle plus the 15 pips. And so that was at the 1.51608. So you can see how it exceeded that and it got stopped out. So the total loss for the pips at this point went from the entry point here to the stop point, and it was approximately right here. And so it was 39.4 pips for this particular one. So.
Okay, nice. Okay, thank you, Steve. So there's only one that you found, right?
Yeah, there was a couple that were close, but they really never met the criteria for the stochastics.
Okay. All right. Thank you. One more. I believe it's just Jason is left.
So there was nothing in the daily 4 hours. Point 2. Just wants to go along, but there's something really qualifying stats. The fact that captive is 47.51, so that wouldn't qualify. But then there's a evening star at 422, which was successful. So from the entry price, so we entered in the closing of the third candle in our target. First target would be 10.1 pips. Easily we could have went to the second target, which was about 36 pips. So this one was successful. This was a win. It's an hourly. We have one right here. So it's going to go back to casted. Here's one. Yeah. Use the faster casting level to supply. So you have to get the entry price. Then it would be a easy, so it was 421. Okay. So if you entered in the entry at the closing, this candle would be an easy 7.3 pips. So we would have won. So this was a successful one. Go to, there's another morning star at 421. Say you enter the entry price. To hit the first target, we would have made an easy 6 pips. just the first target over here. So this was successful one.
But did it qualify though? It didn't. It's a 40 close
Yeah,
to
42, so this one would have qualified. Just the pattern itself, it was this one meets this one meets it. So we would have entered the entry price over here, it would have been easy 20.7 pips. So that was successful. One, and then lastly we get another Morning Star over here. So we entered the third candle. First target was 0.757110. So this one over here would have been an easy 421 pips.
Okay, so how many wins, how many losses, please?
So even with the ones that didn't qualify?
No, only the qualified.
Okay, so there's 1, 2.
Okay, so while you're doing that, Caitlin, your dollars Swiss, how many wins, how many losses?
There were 6 wins, no losses, and everything totaled up to 114.96.
All right. Dollar Japanese yen, Chris, how many wins, how many losses?
So no losses, 6 wins.
Okay, and the total amount of pips, please?
What do you guys have?
59.1.
Oh, 59.1 plus a 5.2.
Oh, an extra 5 cents?
Yeah.
So it was 59.1 plus what?
5.2.
2?
2.
And that's 54.6.
All right, Jason, yours, please.
4 wins, 0 losses, and you get 35.4 pips together.
35.4 pips. Okay, thank you. All right, what's the lesson, do you think, behind you doing this? Or us doing this as a group?
Give you confidence. You can always make money if you put the 2 on. So don't be greedy.
All right, there you go. So just for the whole week, Aussie had 6 wins, 0 losses. If you just use T1 with the highest probability of winning, then you would have accumulated 107.6 pips. Euro, 26 pips. Dollar CAD, 22.9. Dollar yen, 64.3. Dollar Swiss, 114.9. The pound USD was the only one that didn't work, minus negative 39.4. And you have the Kiwi with 4 wins, 0 losses, 35.4. There's the evidence. Yeah. Are we making it up? I don't make things up. Like, it's pure objectivity just based on the entry and the closing price with just T1 alone. So imagine with some of the trades that you saw where it even went double to where it went, right? So the key is definitely don't be greedy. 2, of course, you have your strategies of profit maximizing, right? How can you trail to the upside and so forth? The question is, who took trades based on what you currently see at this point in time?
Not the same. I didn't make all of them.
Yeah, because it's pretty challenging to do pretty much all of them, unless probably you're sleeping. If you have an alert system, that would basically work. But at least if you took 1 or 2 out of that, well, this week was a phenomenal week, in my opinion.
Ray,
Yes.
Can we get alerts for the Morningstar and the Evening Star from the FXCM?
Can you get an alert?
Yeah.
Not that I know of. And unless you do some form of programming that will give you the alert. I believe Caitlin gave out a website. Is that an alert system just for something, or I don't know, how does it work?
It's an alert system for, like, it tells you when, like, it reaches a certain price. But maybe there are other alerts on it. I just haven't played with the other ones. Yeah, I think there are, I know Julian said he's trying to program, like, alerts so that he can get them at work, and he doesn't have to, like, analyze it. He just, like, sees it and then he'll run to the bathroom.
Yes.
And then, like, I know Lisa was creating some kind of reading software to, like, tell her when a Morningstar happens.
Yeah.
You just have to program, like, what your idea of Morningstar is, or, like, you have to, like, know, like, what it is, and then...
I know I'm currently in the process of getting those done, but when it's going to finish, I don't know. But I'm not the one who's programming it, but nevertheless, it is to show there, like, in terms of the results, you can make money with one method. It's a very simple method. All you do is just basically put it in and don't be greedy. Put in with the highest probability. T1 will always have the highest probability. Day in, day out. So for the intermediate, put in trades. If you see it, don't be afraid. Don't get too greedy. So what if you only make 2 pips? So what if it was 4 pips, 5 pips? Because if you accumulate those, that's how you can make your money grow over and over again, right? Any questions based on the exercise? Part of the back testing, basically just for the week?
Nope.
Nothing? Steve, any questions? Okay, I said be right back. Okay, done. Excellent. Who am I going to choose this time? Let's go with Ruba. You're going to do the macro fundamentals, please. Let's look for potential trades. Oh, who's online? Jenny, welcome. All right, I'll pass the presentation to you, Ruba. And we have Jamil as well. Welcome.
This is the weekly dollar index chart. It creates a lower high, but a high low as well. Overall uptrend. This week's candle is not very bearish, but still close below the last week's candle. Now for the next week, it needs to decide which way it wants to go, because lower highs and higher lows. If it's an uptrend, it can continue towards uptrend. Its chances is more high, but it can come back down to test this demand area is likely as well. Go with the daily. Daily shows a strong force towards downside from last 2 days and is lower than the previous low, though it's not confirmed, but higher low from here. I draw this trend line. I'm supposing this candle is closed. Suppose if it closes like this, then the trend line shows us that it broke the uptrend line and closes below the yesterday's candle and the today's candle. So the chances is to test this demand area is highly likely. So it can come back down to this supply area, and after that, depending on the situation, it can come back up or maybe continue to the downside. So bearish with the dollar index. So this is the demand area that the current candle is approaching towards it, so it's highly likely to be tested this area again. So yeah, the bearish on the dollar index. And SPX is very bullish, create a new high. I'll see the weekly first. Yeah, weekly is very bullish. High 2120, high 2109. Yeah, it's a new high on the weekly chart. So yeah, so it's bullish. And daily is very bullish as well. So SPX is bullish, and US 30 will be same as like oh, it's not. Usually they both goes the same way, but US 30 has a lower high and a lower high, but higher lows as well. So it's in interseason, but the both SPX and the US 30 goes the same way. So highly likely that it will follow the SPX as well on the bullish side, because higher lows and on the uptrend line. But at this stage it's in indecision. VIX on the weekly is bearish, as SPX is bullish and the VIX is bearish, so they have an inverse relationship. So that's all good, and I'll look for the daily as well. On the daily, it shows the doji candle, but it shows some bullishness in the body, but it's still close below. If it closes like that, it's close below the previous day candle. And the SPX has small indecision candle as well in this one. It creates higher high though, but still indecision. So the chances is it can come back down on Monday, Tuesday, just to test this demand area and to come close to the trend line is highly likely. And next is gold. Gold is primary downtrend and is very bearish for this week. Last 2 weeks was an indecision in the market, but this week is definitely very bearish candle. And on daily as well, bearish with the gold. And if gold is bearish, the Aussie has a correlation with the gold. The chances is the Australian dollar will go down as well. The next is oil. US oil is not working on my screen at this stage, and I'll do the bonds first and then come back to the oil later. Bonds is on the weekly. Overall downtrend, but now it's in uptrend as well, higher low, and this week is very bullish, creates a new high, though it's not confirmed yet, but it's a very bullish week. The daily is bullish as well, but today's candle come back down. It's at supply. The chances it to come back down at demand level is high at the start of the next week, but overall bullish with bonds. I'll go to the news first and come back to this one later on. It's not working on it. Next week we have Aussie high impact news on Tuesday and pound CAD, and then on Wednesday USD, New Zealand, Euro, USD, and on Thursday we have USD and Kiwi. We have FOMC as well on Thursday. Yen, lots of news on Thursdays next week, and Friday we only have one, a CAD, Aussie, pound, lots of news in the next week, so it will be good to trade news. And Saturday just one, so Thursdays and Fridays has more news. So US oil is not working. I'm not sure what's wrong with this one, but yeah, that's all from my side. UK oil is bullish. UK oil is bullish. Yeah, US oil is not working, but we know it's bullish from last few days, but I'm not sure what the current position at this time.
All right, thank you, Ruba. Do you guys agree with Ruba's analysis? Going once, twice. Boom. All right, I'm going to start from Jason. You'll do the euro, pound, sorry, euro, pound, euro, dollar, pound, dollar for M2s. Oh, sorry, what I'm talking about, not M2s. M1s. Then Samantha, you're going to do dollar, yen, and dollar Swiss. Caitlin, you're going to do euro, yen, pound, yen. Ruba, you're going to do, please write it down, Aussie dollar and the Kiwi dollar. And one more for you, please. Jason is the dollar CAD. Okay. And then for Chris, you are going to do okay. The major currencies, please, with method, because you only learned method, you already know method 1 and 2, I mean long and short, or method 2, right? And then Steve will do method 3, well, the major currencies, please. All right. All right, whenever you're ready, Jason, I will pass the presentation to you, mute myself.
We're looking for all M1, M2, M3?
You did.
Just, Ruba, just method 1 only, please. Method 1.
Okay.
All right. So based on M1, you see that price has broken the primary downtrend line. Price is currently at equilibrium, or it passed equilibrium price. There's a lot of volume over here, so there's a lot of people trading this right now. So the chances of price to continue going to the upside to test out the supply level pretty high. But you can see that price is dying out of force, but notice that it just took one candle to make up 1, 2, 3 candles. So there's a high probability that price can come back down to the secondary trend line over here just for a small correction. before continuing up to the upside. To supply level. So if price chooses to, it could eventually break the secondary trend line and actually come back over here to demand, or to the actual strong demand level down over here. And touch the primary uptrend line. Looking at the weekly, you can see that there's lack of force. So the chances of this to come back to the downside is pretty high as well. And since there's going to be a lot of news next week, notice that we got the FOMC on Wednesday. Huge impact. There's going to be German permanent CPI next week, so it's going to have a huge effect. So since there's low volume on the weekly, and it says the overall, there's a high chance that price might continue to the downside and test out the actual demand level over here. Test it out. If price creates another higher low, then I'm gonna buy. So that's the daily. You see in the 4 hours that the last 4 hours of the previous candle, it broke the low of this one. So but price came back up. There's buyers. Notice that this current candle is lack of force. It's just like another doji. So probably for next week, price will come up and create a lower high right there. Then it's going to come back down and test out this area. And we'll see if price breaks through the secondary trend line, uptrend line. If it breaks it, then there's a high probability that it's going to continue going down to test out this price area over here. Looking at the hourly, same thing. You can see price already created a lower high. And it's starting to reject it right there. Coming up to this area. So I am going to be somewhat bearish next week with this one, just for a correction. So there's two possibilities that where price could go. It could even come up to the upside for longer term, or come back to the downside. Well, the chances of this coming back down for a small correction is pretty high. So that is the euro dollar against the CAD. Notice that the current candle, it is in between the tertiary downtrend and the primary uptrend. It's also in a level of demand right there. Price is in a strong level of demand. Notice that the current candle is low, didn't want to break the lower low over here, so its price is could potentially create a higher low, and notice that there is decrease in volume at the current candle. So let's color this one. decrease in volume, current candle. So the chances of this coming back up to test out the secondary trend line is pretty high as well. Over here. Strong level of supplies right here. Yep. Right here. Price might struggle a little bit over here. This would be the equilibrium price. So the chances of this going to the upside is pretty high, decrease in volume. There's an uncertainty candle right there. This low, didn't want to break that one. And this one, it has a high potential of creating a higher low. So if you entered here, risking about 100 pips, about 100 pips of gaining 270, maybe 300 around this price area right here. Let's look at the weekly. Here is the weekly. Notice that this candle didn't want to break the previous candle. Decrease in volume. The only thing is, it's not a strong level of supply. I would have to scroll back around. So there's a potential that price could even come back to test this trend line over here, 180 pips, if it chooses to. Or this could even create a morning star pattern. So yeah, 4 hours. You can see that 4 hours that the previous candle is a very strong bullish bar. Notice that this bullish bar took 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make up 5 candles. Notice that it's retracing back for a small correction before continuing to the upside. And this could be the start of price coming up over here. Hourly. Yep. Took 1 bullish bar to make up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. About 22 candles. And it just took 1 bullish bar. Just waiting for a small correction. Notice that this one is that one lower? Yeah, this one's lower. Waiting for a small correction. So, yeah, waiting for price to come back a little bit further down. And that is the dollar against the CAD.
Everyone, I have a new computer. It's amazing. Just kidding, it's an old one. But new operating system, so exciting times. On the weekly, we see that it's back down in demand. While this low surpassed this one, it still has not surpassed that one. And yeah, the complete like gravestone high wave doji thingy Yeah, so price was pushed all the way up here to supply and then got pushed all the way back down. So yeah. On the daily, however, oh, and it did surpass the secondary uptrend line. So the odds of it maybe coming down here to retest and fill this area is highly probable within the next couple of weeks. So, but we are at demand, so you can't really ignore that now. On the daily time frame, we see that price came down from the lower low compared to that one, and then a lower high compared to this one. So even though it didn't retest this level, we still have a higher low. It's coming back down to the uptrend line again, and we're going to see if it can potentially stall out at the uptrend line and demand to correct back here to the supply level before either creating a lower high and then a lower low or whatever. So, however, this has a lot of force still, and being so close to the uptrend line, this could potentially break past this. So we're going to see if it'll form a higher low compared to this one, because it could form a doji over the weekend and then potentially go up. So what I was looking at, I don't have volume, so I can't tell. Oh, and this line is here. This is, the web version. I love how FXCM denies that this line exists, but it does. Also, it's frozen. I don't know why. I'll just go on the other one. Please load. Yeah, here we go. On the 4-hour, we just see that it still definitely has force in relation to the other dojis, but it is slowing down at demand. It definitely has room, though, to test this last point. So this is the area I circled that will most likely come down and stall out. So if you see it stalling out, I would definitely buy at this point, even if it was for a minor correction. Since it is the weekend, I don't really know, if you're in the short term. Yeah, there's no, indication of a higher low yet. So ideally, you would wait for the higher, you get in test trade at demand, and then you would put it all in on the higher low, but it hasn't formed yet. And overall, this bearish force is really intense on the daily. So if you do enter, don't enter a whole bunch, because there's no, I think it has room to go down to form a higher low, or even a lower low still. So I will wait till Sunday to decide what to do on this one. Is that a good idea to wait till Sunday for this? Right, if it hasn't formed even a doji yet, would it be just best to wait? Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And then I didn't have time to analyze this yet, so I'll just do a really quick one just because I think we are running out of time and we have a lot of people. Oh yeah, 20 minutes. I'll just do it really quick. I can't really draw trend lines, or else it'll take 12 years. Oh, Jason. You were in this. This is such a great trade. Anyway, right now, same thing. Bulls push the price. Oh, did it? I'm still. Yeah, I'm still in. Okay. So the bulls this week pushed all the way back up, but then the bears pushed all the way back down. But overall, the bulls pushed up a little bit more. Definitely indecision after a really strong bearish week. And you do have a lower low compared to this one, and a higher low compared to that one. So this also, I don't think surpassed 24.99. Yeah, this hasn't surpassed this low yet, so but we do have a confirmed lower high again. So it's kind of wanting to push it down. On the daily, yeah, this is basically an indecision doji. If you add those two together, but it's still a higher low compared to this one. And you have lower highs because of me. Maybe could you get back to me on this one so I can analyze it while everyone else is doing their thing? Yeah, that'll save time. And I'm gonna mute myself, so. Can you hear me? Okay, I think so. Okay, cool. So I did the Euro Japanese yen and the Great British Pound Japanese yen. Both of them are kind of doing the same thing right now. We're in uptrends and now they're in the downtrend and creating like lower high, lower low. And right now on the weekly, price is approaching an area of supply and the downward trend line and losing steam. So it's possible that it could just create a lower high and keep going down. If you look at the daily, you can see price just is creating lower highs and lower lows, and right now it looks like it's petering. Well, it broke through this secondary downward trend line, is approaching the primary downward trend line and this area of supply. So if this creates a lower high, then it looks like a good M1 to short since it's in a solid downtrend right now. If you look at the 4-hour, price has yet to begin its trek downward, but it is at a level of demand right now, so price could potentially like come up and hit this area of supply or this downward trend line and create a lower high, and then maybe it's a good time to like think about going short. And on the hourly, you can see that price it's creating lower highs and lower lows, so I do believe it has like a ways to go before it begins its trek downwards, but I'm just going to be waiting maybe like for like 1, 2, like 3, between like now and Wednesday. I'm pretty sure it's going to like create a lower high. If it creates a lower high, then I'm going to short. If it creates a higher high, then I'll wait for the lower high and get in going long. And it's basically the exact same thing on the Great British Pound Japanese yen. Same thing is happening on it. It's in an upward trend, but it's in a temporary downtrend right now. Correction to the downside, creating lower highs and lower lows, and right now it's approaching the primary downtrend line and a level of supply, so it looks like it could potentially like create a lower high and then go down. On the daily, you can see it still has some room to go before hitting this area, before hitting this supply and downward trend line. So I'm just gonna maybe like wait a couple days, maybe on Tuesday it'll have created like a lower high, and then I will short it. And if you just look at the smaller time frames, you can tell it hasn't started creating a lower high yet. It's just in a solid uptrend still. So you just have to, although on the smaller one, on the hourly, it looks like it's correcting down, but you just need to like wait for, obviously the bigger time frames have more of a priority, so I'm just going to be waiting to see if this creates a lower high, and then I'll like use one of the smaller time frames to get in on a lower high in the smaller time frame to get in a good price, and yeah. Because it broke through on the weekly, it broke through this tertiary downward trend line, so it looks like it could potentially correct all the way down here. So it looks good to get short, at least till T1, on the daily. So if you draw your fib, when it creates a lower high, I'd like to maybe like, maybe like at least like square it down to like T1 around here, or maybe like a little above, and then move my stop to break even. It could potentially make a lot of money going down. And same thing for the other one. And yeah, finished.
How do you think that's not really good anymore?
Okay. Okay.
Just looking for nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nothing on the.
Wait, Chris, hold on.
Oh.
I have mine.
Oh, yours is on.
Yeah, mine's on, yeah. It's top lousy, I guess.
Nothing on dollar yen. Nothing on pound, dollar.
Nope. So it's a simple idea and a higher. Now this one is kind of happening, but the 5 didn't say anything. It's actually valid.
So price hasn't.
I mean, 5 is static. And over time it's but not much.
Oh, so on that one right there. Yeah. Well, if you look at price right now, it formed a higher low compared to the doji of your Morningstar, right? Is this the Morningstar? Oh, Instar, I'm sorry. I think Morningstar.
No. It's Cascade.
Yes, Cascade. I was like, that was our Morningstar, and I said.
That's true. Maybe that was the best. Could it be better 5 going into the Morningstar? I mean, we could straight away see the weather.
Yeah, I think right now though, if it was gonna perform, it probably would have done so already. I mean, it formed if you're doing a Morningstar, it did the candle 1, 2, 3 candles next to it was now confirmed higher low compared to your Morningstar doji, which is good because the next progression should be either a higher high or a lower high. So yeah, just kind of back at your entry price. Just it's more risky because it's just kind of you have like 5 candles at the entry. So, but if you want to, you can try and just see where don't risk a lot on it. Well, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not like technically like an M2 anymore though, right? It's like
yeah, I mean, like I think there was a rule like if it doesn't perform in like 3 or 4 candles,
you should probably get out.
Consider getting out, but in this case, it may form a higher low, so that's kind of
It's like more of an M1 now.
Yeah, now it's more kind of like a different methodology.
I think that's all the music. We don't need to go through some. Good. Pass it on to you, please.
And then we can make this up.